Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. My name is James Casey. I'm a schools and colleges liaison officer here at Royal Holloway. As I said, thank you so much for joining us. We are here this evening to talk about all things student life at Royal Holloway. I'm here by wonderful people. Introduce you to them one by one. So, Stu, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Stu. I work for the Students' Union. I am basically managing the marketing team here. So yeah, all of the stuff that we put out on social media, email, across our website, that's our team doing that. And a bit later on, I'll be able to tell you all about the great stuff you can get involved with us here. Things like our sports clubs, societies, events, nights out, that kind of stuff. But yeah, look forward to doing that later on.
Fantastic, thank you, Stu. And we're also joined here by two of the people that I'm sure will know student life best at Royal Holloway. Two of our wonderful student ambassadors, Alessia and Jack. Alessia, would you like to introduce yourself first and maybe tell us about what course you study as well?
Hi everyone, I'm Alessia. I'm from Italy. I study History of Art and Comparative Literature, and I'm in my second year.
Fantastic, perfect, thank you, Alessia. And Jack, over to you as well.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jack, and I'm in my third year studying drama and theatre studies.
Fantastic, that's great. So yes, just before we do get stuck into the content of tonight's session, I have got a quick bit of housekeeping. So just to make sure that you are all aware, the webinar will be recorded tonight. So if you do want to go back and catch up on anything, maybe you've missed something or you just want to go back over it, it will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel in the next few days. So please do, don't worry if you miss anything, essentially. And also, if you do want to submit any questions to us tonight, absolutely you can. Thank you to those of you who have pre-submitted some questions. They are fantastic. But again, if anything does arise, please do feel free to do that via the chat or questions function. But please do just be aware whether you want it to go only to us as organisers or to everyone who has joined the session as well. So yes, going into the content of tonight, where are we actually coming from? So Royal Holloway is a top 30 university in the UK. We are regularly voted as one of the most beautiful campuses, not only in the UK, but also around the world. And I think this is partially thanks to our wonderful Victorian Founders building that you can see here in the picture on a nice, lovely sunny day. We are very proud of it as an institution. As a former student myself, it's always a delight to walk past Founders and see how beautiful it could be on a rainy day or a sunny day. So definitely always very proud of it. In terms of where we are located, we are a campus-based university in Egham in Surrey. So you can see here, we're about 40 minutes by train outside of central London. Here we are arriving to campus. As you can probably see already, we are a lovely green space, which I personally found really gave us a really nice balance of student life at Royal Holloway. Lots of time to unwind and relax in that local area. In terms of our campus map, you can find this here now as well. Again, really emphasising that lovely green space that we have. But of course, you can see here some of our accommodation buildings scattered all across our campus. Also our academic buildings. So that might be our library space just next to Founders there with over 1,000 study spaces. Or it also could be our pretty much brand new Shilling building, built and finished in around 2020. Really lovely state-of-the-art facilities there for electronic engineering specifically. Or it also could be things like our social spaces. So of course, our sports centre down the bottom right-hand corner there. Also things, of course, like our student union that you'll be hearing about tonight. And lots of cafes and restaurants too. In terms of departments that we have here at Royal Holloway, these are the ones that we have. So anything from arts, humanities, but also things like the STEM subjects as well. So some of you may well have applied to be on one of those courses come this September. Some of you, it might be the first time hearing about Royal Holloway. So Whatever it might be, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's session, and I hope that it will be really insightful and informative about just what student life actually is like at Royal Holloway. Of course, we are going to be going into a few different areas. First and foremost, a little bit about academic life. So what actually will you be doing academically as a student at Royal Holloway? It might also be about where you can live. So of course, that's going to be potentially a big factor in what your life will be like as a student at Royal Holloway, where you can actually live on campus or not on campus. Support as well, lots of support mechanisms that we have in place for students, not just academic support. It could also be financial support, career support, health and wellbeing support. We'll go through some of that later on. And that's at that point I will pass over to Stu, who's going to run through some of the awesome student union activities and opportunities that they hold as well. After that, of course, we will then lead into the Q&A session. So first and foremost, academic life as a student at Royal Holloway. So I think it's important to start by noting some of the key differences from school or college to university. So obviously, how is school actually different? Well, of course, you are taught all you need to know. You potentially have lessons all day, every day, Monday to Friday. And of course, you will be reminded about things like your homework, your deadlines. However, university, of course, Royal Holloway, we are quite more independent in our learning style. That's going to be hopefully an exciting thing. You will have a mixture of lessons and free time. And of course, that does mean that you will be personally responsible for your work and of course, your deadlines. It will be up to you to actually meet those deadlines. In terms of how teaching is actually like at Royal Holloway, generally you can sort of split these into three different types of teaching. First and foremost, lectures. That would probably be the most common type of teaching you might receive at university. These are quite often much larger classes than you might be used to, maybe potentially even a whole year group. They will be most likely academics talking at the front with a PowerPoint, whilst you as students will be taking notes along the way. Often they will be between anything from about 1 hour up to about 3 hours long. But of course you will get breaks along the way if there are longer sessions. Seminars as well. This might be something that you're a little bit more used to, maybe more similar to what you've had at school or college currently. They will be much smaller classes, so anything from 10 to 15 students maybe, and there'll be a lot more discussion based, most likely around a certain topic or theme that week. It might be that whatever you've done in your independent study time, you'll be bringing along to those seminars to have quite a student-led discussion, obviously with some input of an academic as well. Often between 1 and 2 hours long. And then finally, specifically for science-based subjects, you might well have some labs. I'm sure you're very excited to actually have some labs as well. Obviously, they are very common within the science field, taking place in a lab that we have on campus itself, or maybe out in the field of study as well. Essentially, they are opportunities for you to get hands-on with your subjects, a lot more practical, you might say. And of course, this could mean that it could be a really quick session, maybe only 1 hour long, or of course, it could be a much longer session. So it could be up to maybe even 5 hours long. In terms of opportunities that are available to you, specifically with us at Royal Holloway, we do have lots of academic development opportunities. It could be working directly with an academic on either your education or, of course, their specific research in their field. Of course, you're going to have access to some of the world-leading facilities, especially here at Royal Holloway. I myself, as a former drama student here, was so lucky to be able to access 3 of our wonderful performance spaces, three working theatres. It was really, really exciting. Again, if you're a psychology student, maybe you might be gaining access to our on-campus MRI scanner. So again, that's a really good example maybe of some of the world-leading facilities that we do, of course, have. And of course, as part of your course, you might be able to do some field work as well. So that might be a chance for you to travel, not only the UK, but maybe even further afield around the world. And that might actually count for something towards your course. If you want to take that further, maybe a year abroad could be right for you. So all of our undergraduate students here at Royal Holloway are able to apply to a study overseas, whether this be a full academic year, a year abroad, or just maybe a summer exchange program. So we do have over 80 global partners across the world, anything from Europe, New Zealand, Asia, anywhere, you pretty much name it, we do have a global partner. Of course, it can be competitive, which ones you may specifically want to go to, but if you want to do a year abroad, it's not a competitive scheme. So that's a really interesting thing to know. On the work experience side of it as well, you might be able to get a year in industry, or a sandwich year as it's sometimes known. Essentially, that is a chance for you to get more industry experience out there in the field that you might be interested in going into after your degree. It could also be the form of a summer internship run directly by companies, maybe in your summer holidays, or potentially even one of our micro placement schemes, usually around 2 to 4 weeks, either over the summer holidays again, or in your summer term, where you can be matched up directly by our Royal Holloway Careers Service. So hopefully that gives you a good sort of overview, I guess, of what academic life will be like more generally as a student at Royal Holloway. Ultimately, the big thing to emphasise, it will be down to the course that you have chosen. So some courses you may be more in-person, hands-on at moments in the term. Other courses you may have much less contact hours and you might have more independent study time. It's just going to be about what course and what style of course essentially you will have chosen. So in terms of where to live then, the big thing thinking about when you're a student at university is where you might actually want to stay and live. Do you want to stay at home? Absolutely, you can do that. You can commute to our campus. Do you want to stay in one of our university halls of residences on our campus itself? Or maybe, this is probably more common in your second and third years, but what about shared housing as well? So is there any shared housing in the local area that maybe you might want to live in? As I said, some of you may already have gone through this process. You may already have started your accommodation applications for this September. Fingers crossed you get your top choices on that. But if not, if you're still making that decision, absolutely that's fine as well. Hopefully it's just really useful for you to think about in the coming months ahead. The big things about pros and cons, of course, there are advantages and disadvantages to each of them. If you're going to stay at home, obviously that might mean that you don't have to move. It might mean that you're going to save some money and hopefully get some help with your chores. Fingers crossed. However, disadvantages to that, it could of course mean added travel time, the potential cost of that travel as well, and you may not get that same independence or freedom feeling that you might get if you were living maybe on campus itself. Something to think about. In terms of halls of residences, of course, you can have lots of chances to meet new people, and of course that might make it a bit easier for you to move away from home maybe for the first time. However, disadvantage, of course, there's no guarantee of your first choice accommodation that you pick. And of course, you don't get to pick who you live with. So if you end up with someone very noisy or someone very messy in the same flat as you, maybe that won't be your ideal situation. Of course, shared housing as well, as I said, more common in your second and third years, but it is still an option available to you in your first year. You do get to, of course, choose who you want to live with and where you want to live potentially. And of course, there are a range of options and prices out there. However, it may well be further away from university. Bills might not be included. Definitely something to think about in the current climate. And of course, if you do have any problems with the house, it might not automatically be fixed as quickly as it would be in the university halls of residences. In terms of the accommodation that we have here at Royal Holloway, you can see a list of these coming on the screen now. Anything from our wonderful George Eliot halls, you can see them in the bottom left and bottom right hand corner there. They are the most recently built halls, completed in 2017. Really nice modern facilities there. It could be Tuke, Butler, Williamson, Gower or Wedderburn. They are all part of the same band of accommodation. We have 12 different bands of accommodation at Royal Holloway. Fun fact about those halls, they were actually used in the 2012 London Olympics to home some of the Olympians from all over the world. So again, that's a cool little thing to know about those hall of residences. It could also be founders, for instance. You can, of course, actually stay in essentially a castle for a year. That's a really great experience if that's what you might be after. You can see a picture of a shared room there in the top left-hand corner as well. So again, if that's something maybe you want to save a bit of money, definitely could be something to think about. And of course, maybe Runnymede, Penrose Court, Reeds and Highfields, they could all potentially be really good catered options. So if you do not actually want to have to cook for yourself, you want to go along and have to a dining room and have your food cooked for you, absolutely they could be really good halls of residences for you as well. These are the fees for this coming September, if this is relevant to you. As I said, all these details can be found directly on our website. Just type into a search engine, Royal Holloway accommodation, and this will probably be one of the first things that you see come up. So anything from around £4,000 up to about £9,000. Again, it's dependent on whether you want something more modern or older, catered or self-catered, and potentially the length of time of your let as well. For instance, if you are only going to stay in term time, not over December, Christmas holidays, or maybe Easter holidays as well, or if you want to stay over summer, more so for postgraduate students maybe, that would be more relevant, but definitely something to think about. As I said, you can find all these details on our website. The big question, I guess, for you to decide about university accommodation is the style of the hall. So do you want it to be more modern, or are you happy with it being that little bit older maybe? Price, of course, that might be the really big deciding factor for you. And things about price can, of course, be influenced by whether it's catered or self-catered, whether you have an ensuite bathroom all to yourself, or whether you have a shared bathroom maybe as well. Again, if it's your worst nightmare, sharing a bathroom with someone, then absolutely don't go for it. But things like that will, of course, affect the price. So it's just about prioritizing what suits you best. Of course, if you are thinking about commuting to campus, absolutely you can here at Royal Holloway. Around 30% of our student population are commuting students. So absolutely, it's not uncommon, and you can still get involved with campus life in just the same way. The big things for you to think about, again, really might be the cost of travel, and with that, the time as well. It might be about applying for a car permit. That would be something that you hope to have maybe set up in advance before you confirm. Things obviously about planning ahead. That's going to be a really big difference compared to living directly on campus, is that you might have to prepare and plan a little bit more, not only on terms of your academic studies, but also socially as well. So it might be just about arranging that coffee or lunch with a friend a few days in advance, rather than just turning up on the day and seeing if anyone's about. Again, it's just something to think about. And of course, your welcome week. So we'll hear more from Stu later on, all about our welcome week and some of the really exciting things that you can, of course, get involved in. But hopefully that will be a really nice introduction for you. And again, just really get stuck into as many of those events as really you want to get involved in. So I guess that's a little bit about our accommodation. Hopefully that's been a helpful section for you just to see about what's out there. Now we're going to move on to a little bit about our support mechanisms in place for you as a student at Royal Holloway. So there are different types of support. It doesn't just have to mean one thing. It could be academic support, disability support, social support, financial, and of course career support as well. So taking initially a look at the academic support in place for you as part of your student life. We do, of course, have one-to-one drop-in sessions, most commonly with your personal tutor. So every student at Royal Holloway will be assigned a personal tutor within your department. Again, really good ways of getting that academic support if you ever need it. You will most likely meet with them probably once a term in your first year, just to make sure that you are settling in okay. Lots of departments do actually have their own induction program as well, so you might be able to follow that. And of course, there are peer guide schemes from current second and third year student mentors as well. In terms of disability and neurodiversity support, there is lots available for you if you are a student with us. It could be assessment arrangements, so you want more arrangements in place for your assessments. It could be getting support with the Disabled Students Allowance, the DSA, how to apply for it and how to actually get that allowance. Housing assistance, especially if you are in one of our halls of residences on campus, we can assist you with things like moving in, for instance. Early access to course material and extended book loans. Again, if that's really going to help support your learning, absolutely you will be able to gain access to those things. And of course, if it does ever need to be required, then our health centre, we do have a health centre directly on campus, and our counselling, our health and wellbeing team as well. They are fantastic. If you ever feel like you just need a chat, or if you do feel like you need something more, absolutely, I would always strongly encourage you to get in touch with them. Of course, this could mean all sorts of conditions. It could be a physical disability or a sensory disability. It could be a mental health condition. It could also be a learning disability, a specific learning disability. There are just some on the screen as we speak. Or it could also be a long-term health condition as well. I should say it doesn't just mean these ones on the screen now. It could be a whole host more than that. Absolutely, it's not just contained to these on the screens. But if you think it's something that you might feel extra support with, always just reach out to that disability and neurodiversity team and see what they can do to support you. On the financial side of it, we do have a dedicated student finance support team as well. So if you ever need help with applying for your finance or supporting anything about budgeting, maybe, you can get some really good advice there. Royal Holloway itself does have student hardship funds, and short-term loans are also available if you ever do find yourself in maybe emergency financial trouble. Absolutely check those out. And of course, part-time jobs, and specifically fairs that advertise those part-time jobs. 74% of students in the UK do currently work a part-time job alongside their studies, so it's absolutely not uncommon. So absolutely, if you think you might want that extra bit of cash in your pocket even, or if it is something more meaningful than that, definitely check out those part-time job fairs. It could be potentially one of our over 1,000 different student part-time jobs available on campus. I myself worked in our lovely student union shop for just over 2 years as a supermarket assistant. I loved my time working in there, not only for the financial reasons, but also for the social reasons. There are lots of social opportunities through these jobs as well. Of course, you can see on the right there, our student ambassadors, a bit like Jack and Alessia tonight, they have joined us as student ambassadors. That is technically a part-time job. Or it could also be things in the local area, of course, Legoland, Thorpe Park, Ascot Racecourse as well. Social support. So the Freshers Festival, you'll be hearing a lot more about that in just a moment, but that is a great week where you can really get involved into all the different social support networks available to you at Royal Holloway. Departmental mixers, specifically within your courses, societies and sports fairs. Again, lots of really good things to get involved in there, meeting like-minded people essentially. And of course, the Give It a Go sessions. So they are really great sessions, maybe just for opportunities that you might not have had the chance to give it a go in the past. So definitely check them out. As I said, Stu, I'm sure will be mentioning them in the student union section. And then finally from me, the career support available to you as well. So it could well be workshops and fairs for you to attend. It could be a one-to-one appointment with one of our career specialists. We do also have departmental networking events, former students coming back and talking about what their careers they've gone on to. And with that, we do also have an online alumni mentoring scheme. So if you know there is someone on that scheme who's gone into the same career that maybe you want to go into, absolutely you can get in touch with them and reach out to them to see if they could offer you some advice potentially. And of course, as we've already covered, the year in industries, the internships, and of course the placements as well. It's at this point I'm going to pass over to Stu, who is going to give you a lot more depth, all about the wonderful activities that the Student Union specifically offers. They are fantastic in really making student life better here at Royal Holloway. So yes, Stu, over to you.
Perfect, thank you very much, James. Yeah, so basically to try and explain what we do as the Student Union, we're here to represent students and make sure that they have the best possible experience while they're here at Royal Holloway. We do that in a variety of different ways, such as offering helpful advice on any issues that may be affecting them, campaigning for changes that students want to see on campus, And also a really important one is putting on great events and extracurricular activities to give students a break from their studies. Now, I don't know if the video on the next slide is likely to work or not, James, but we can give it a go and see if it does. Basically, this is just a little bit of a snapshot, and I thought it'd be a bit more interesting than me talking through for a minute about the different things that we do. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure if anyone else had sound there. If you do go onto our YouTube page, then you can hear that with some music. It's a little bit more interesting, but hopefully that gave you an idea anyway of some of the things that we do here. And what I'll do now on the next slides is take you through some of those. The first one James already mentioned. So every September, students get really excited about joining university, and a big part of that is Freshers Week, or Freshers Festival as we know it here at Royal Holloway. So what that is, it's a week-long program of events. It's an introduction to the Students' Union, everything that we have to offer. So we put on loads of events, taster sessions, nights out, and you can also expect loads of freebies, as you can see there with the Domino's pizza as well. So basically loads of fun stuff to get involved with before you begin the grind of your studies, and a lot of the things that you get to experience during freshers carry on throughout your journey. So it's really just to give you a flavour of what's available to you, try things out, and hopefully find things that you enjoy. And then on some of the next slides I'll show you what some of those opportunities look like. So big one of those is our student groups. As it says there, a great way to meet new friends and get the most out of your time. So currently have, I took these figures from yesterday, so obviously there is 152, if my maths is correct. That number obviously fluctuates each year, but you can sense from those numbers there, there's a huge variety of things for you to get involved in. So 110 societies, 39 sports clubs, and 3 media outlets as well. And a great thing to note as well, obviously we know sometimes that there can be some barriers to participation, and if money's tight, we've got an access fund which is available to help you with costs for things like membership fees, kits, competition entry, and lots of other things as well. So don't be put off if you do end up joining Royal Holloway, where there's always ways for you to get involved that don't always necessarily mean you're spending lots and lots of money. So to go into a little bit more detail and to give you an idea of just a snapshot of some of the groups, as you've seen, there's over 100 of these societies. So I just plucked a few random ones here to show you sort of the variety that we have. So we've got Humans versus Zombies. They're one of the biggest groups on campus, always running around with the Nerf guns. And I'll be looking out my office behind me and out the window behind me, and just seeing them running around shooting each other. So if that's the kind of thing you like doing, you can get involved with it at university. If you're interested in creative arts, loads of different societies, things like dance, ballroom, Latin. We've got musical theatre society there. There's loads of other ones as well. So loads of great creative opportunities there. We've got K-pop. They've been involved in a couple of our club nights as well, which has really got going over the last couple of years here. And then one of our newest societies is the Bake Society, which is great. Who doesn't like a cake or two or a sweet treat? So if you are interested in finding out about more of the kinds of things that go on, you can check them out on our website. But there's just a few of them on there. and yeah, what societies will do, as well as putting on various sort of different events depending on what the group is, lots of social activities as well, and yeah, just a really great way to yeah, enjoy your university experience, meet new people, people like-minded that have got the same interests as you as well, and whether it's yeah something that you already enjoy doing, or something completely new that you've never heard of or never tried before, yeah, it's a great chance to get involved. And then moving on to sports clubs, I'm sure many of you already are playing various different sports, and I'm pretty sure that most of those sports would be available to you yeah, here at Royal Holloway as well. Some of the more traditional ones, such as your football and your rugby. And then the photo there, we've got lacrosse, there's things like American football, there's chess, there's mountaineering and climbing, so many different ones you can get involved in. And again, maybe opportunities that you've not had the chance to do through school and college, but yeah, you've got that platform to do so here. Now, there's a mixture of different opportunities there. Some of you may enjoy the competitive side of sport, and then we've got leagues and cups for you to play in with various affiliated leagues. So that's on a regional, and yeah, there'll be national competitions there as well. But for those of you who want something a bit more laid back, there's also some more social activities for you to get involved in, such as the campus leagues. As with societies, yeah, the sports clubs are massive on the kind of social events and that side of university as well. And I don't just mean coming out to the club nights for that. They'll be doing lots of other things as a group outside of university as well. And the last bullet point on here is our varsity, which you might not have heard of before, but each year we compete against the University of Surrey across a range of different sports and some society events as well. Unfortunately, we've not yet beat Surrey, so hopefully at some point we may be able to change things. But if any of you have ever seen the facilities at Surrey, that'll probably make sense, because they are, yeah, they're a big sporting university. But yeah, if you like sport and get involved, yeah, you'd have that opportunity to get involved with varsity and competing against Surrey, which is always a lot of fun. And then finally, on the student groups, we have our media outlets as well. So as you see there, there's 3 different ones, and they're across different areas, and they're a great place for yeah, any creatives, yeah, any budding journalists or broadcasters out there. So the first one that I'll talk you through is Insanity Radio, which is our resident radio station, which is actually situated here, broadcasting from the Students' Union out into the local area. So yeah, if you do live locally, then yeah, you would be able to yeah, tune in to that, and yeah, listen to all the stuff that yeah, our great members are talking about. So there's a variety of different shows on there. So if you want to get involved, then yeah, absolutely you'd be able to sort of run your own radio show, which is really cool, and something that I did when I was at university. I didn't actually go to Royal Holloway, but it was a really enjoyable experience, and something that yeah, obviously you may not have had that opportunity to do before. The next one on there is Orbital magazine, which is yeah, a monthly magazine. It's got a variety of different articles in there. So yeah, if you like writing, getting creative, or yeah, photography even, there'll be opportunities there for you to yeah, create content, both for yeah, the print edition of the magazine and also the stuff that's being published online. And then finally, Rhubarb TV, which, as it suggests, is the television station. Unfortunately, it's not been running this year, but hopefully that will get back up and running in future years. And yeah, that's another great way to get creative. And yeah, there's no limit to all of these things. The kinds of things you could be creating, from live streams to newsreels, game shows, dramas, you name it. So many opportunities to get involved with those. Okay, so yeah, this slide here, as it suggests, basically we've got a lot of things for you to do. it should be said that the university also put on loads of great stuff as well. It's not only from the Students' Union. It's just that, yeah, we are here to kind of support the university and put on, yeah, things, yeah, particularly on campus. Maybe there'll be some things outside as well. Obviously, with being a campus-based uni, it's really important that there's opportunities for students here rather than having to maybe jump on a train, go into London, Windsor, which of course you can do. But there's, yeah, lots of things for you to do within the walls of the university as well. And there'll be something for you to do every day of the week throughout the year, obviously particularly during term time. Now the first one on there is the Union venue, which during the daytime is a really boring grey hall, which I'm sure everyone, the other panelists on here will agree with. If you go in there, not too exciting, but on a Wednesday and a Friday night, it turns into a nightclub, which is actually the picture at the bottom there on the right, around about 1,400 capacity. So yeah, there's regular events throughout the year. Some of the names we've had in there, tried to pick some names that hopefully some people that are still relevant, because for me, certain names that I might think are cool are not anymore. But we've had acts like Sigma, Nathan Dorr, Big Nasty, Becky Hill. So yeah, there's some pretty cool acts that come and perform each year, which is great. Then we also have Medicine, which is sort of another nightclub stroke bar. Again, we have different themed sort of club nights, and there'll be other events, things like society performances taking place both there and in the Union venue as well, actually. And we've got a couple of our favourite events that take place in Medicine. One that's called Toast. When it started, there was actually toast served on a night out. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case, but the name stuck. And yeah, it's a great place to come and hang out, have a few drinks, chill out with mates. We've then got Tommy's Kitchen, which is basically a burger bar downstairs in the Students' Union. Place again to come and grab some food, maybe between lectures, or sit and have a drink outside on the plaza on a nice sunny day, hopefully. We have the Pack Horse, which for anyone who is local or has been in Egham before, is a pub across the road from campus, but we actually do run it ourselves for the Students' Union. So we've got loads of food and drink deals there for you, including 2 for Tuesdays, where there's like 2 for 1 on lots of the menu items. There's a pool table football, show live sport throughout the week, and lots of other events as well, like karaoke, live music, and a weekly pub quiz as well. So lots and lots of things going on there. And then finally, I've just put Summer Ball on there because that is the biggest event in the Royal Holloway calendar. Actually, literally about an hour or so ago, we made the website live for that. So on Friday, we'll be putting tickets on sale for our students. But just to give you an idea of that, it's around about 3,500 students who attend that each year. And it's it goes on in and around Founders Building. So it's an amazing festival event. It usually takes place from 8 p.m. right through until 6 a.m. So yeah, a nice 10-hour long festival for those hardy souls who managed to make it all the way through until the survivors photo at 6 a.m. which I did on my first Summer Ball here, but since then I couldn't quite hack it. I know we're not clicking on the links here. If you were to go on our website, there is a virtual tour where you can take a look around our venues. But I think the final thing, similar to earlier where we showed a video, again, it might not be as good without the sound, but I just thought I'd include the video of the Summer Ball so you can get an idea of the spectacle. And again, if you go and sort of Google that or go onto YouTube in your own time, you'll be able to watch that. But yeah, straight away there you can see sort of how big the event is. Everyone dressed up. I'm not sure if everyone else, the panelists on the call, have been to a Summer Ball before. Unfortunately, we didn't have it for a couple of years because of the COVID pandemic, but it did return last year. So yeah, this video is from them. And yeah, we'll be holding another event just 5 weeks time now, which is super exciting. It feels weird commentating over the top of it, but as there's no sound, I'll do so anyway. But yeah, you can see this is people coming into Founders, into the quads, and in a moment it will flip into more of the night time once it gets dark, and the main stages with all the lights and the big acts performing. There we go, right on cue.
do have to say, from a former student perspective, summer ball was probably the highlight of my year. They were such fantastic evenings, and 6 a.m. the next morning, yeah, you were in the survivors photo, and you used to get survivors breakfast. So lovely sausage and a bun for breakfast.
Yeah, we will be yeah, the return of the survivors breakfast this year. I know that was a bit of a sore point last year, but yeah, there will be the return of the 6 a.m. If it was a sausage bath or a bacon roll, yeah, it'll be one of those this year. So yeah, I don't think there's too much longer of this video to go anyway. One thing I should say, that I think I didn't go into detail actually on one of the earlier slides around Freshers Festival. James mentioned it earlier. It's the Give It a Go program. So obviously a lot of what we're showing you is about sort of going out on nights out. For those of you, obviously, when you're at the age and are able to enjoy an alcoholic beverage, absolutely, there's opportunity to do so. But completely understand that that is not going to be for everyone. And there's lots of opportunities that don't involve drinking alcohol, that you can that are more around meeting new people, new experiences, having a good time. And of course, you can come and enjoy events like Summer Ball without needing to drink, and enjoy the spectacle. But yeah, the Give It a Go program has a lot of different free events throughout the year. One that we actually had this week was the reptile experience, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just come into the main hall, there's snakes, lizards, lots of other reptiles for you to meet. We have a pets as therapy session where you can come and meet the doggos, which is certainly a favourite of a lot of the students. Things like day trips, crafts, activities, that kind of thing. But yeah, just thought it was important to note that rather than you thinking, oh, it's all about these big club nights, because absolutely that's not going to be for everyone. But yeah, that's us in a nutshell. I will hang around when it comes to the Q&A if anyone does want to ask anything, but I'm sure between everyone else on the call who's actually experienced things as a student, you'll probably be better placed to sort of say what it's actually like on the other end. I can talk about it from what I hope that we're able to put on as a Students' Union. But yeah, thanks very much, and I'll hand back over to James.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Very grateful for offering your time there, Stu. I think you're hearing it from the best essentially with our Student Union there. They do such fantastic things for students, and they really do give you a lot of opportunities for you to get involved in. So yes, thank you very much for your time, Stu. Fantastic. We are now on to the end essentially of our content for you. It's now time for the questions and answer sessions. I can see we've had fantastic amounts of questions come in even whilst we've been on the call. So absolutely, I'm happy to lead this now. Jack and Alessia, I will mostly be aiming them towards you as our current students. Just in case anyone does want to sign up to find out more, you can on screen there see our QR codes. Or if you do want to chat to more of our current students or staff, you can get in touch with them via our website as well. So if we don't cover everything now in the next 15 minutes or so, absolutely, please do sign up to our website or sign up to chat to our current students and staff as well. Okay, so over to the questions. Just going to bring them up on my second screen here. So first and foremost, this one for Jack or Alessia, whoever wants to take it first. What are the first few days of uni like at Royal Holloway?
Did you say the first day? I couldn't really hear, sorry.
So the question was, sorry, I'll repeat it again. Alessia, if you could answer this one. What are the first few days of university like?
Okay, so for me, coming from another country, I was a bit scared at the beginning before actually coming. But then when I started, I felt very supported by everyone. Because obviously in the first days, I came a week before the lesson started. So I kind of went to the offices where I needed to go to sign up for all the lessons I had. And then I started meeting people through my household. I went to the Freshers Fair, which was amazing, and I always look forward to it. So I definitely recommend going and bring a bag to store all the things you get for free. Highly recommend it. And yeah, the first days were very exciting. I thought that they were going to be frightening but then I felt really supported, and I understood from the beginning that I could be helped in all the ways I needed for. So don't worry if you feel stressed, because it's normal, but you will find a way to everything you need.
Fantastic. Jack, did you find the first few days of university an overwhelming thing or a really exciting thing?
A bit of both. I joined in 2020, so obviously COVID was still very much prominent during that time, so it was quite difficult for those reasons. But the uni still did an amazing job at integrating everyone in very well, and it was scary, but it was very exciting because you sort of get there, you arrive, and you realize that everyone's in the same boat as you, and so there's a whole kind of community spirit. You're kind of in this together spirit as well, is very much prominent in the first few days. So everyone's kind of very helpful and very caring towards everyone, because everyone knows that this is daunting for anyone joining uni. But yeah.
Great, thank you. Next question then. What is there to do in the local area for socialising and things like that during the weekends?
I can take this one. So around in Egham and Egglefield Green, which is our other local housing area, there's loads of pubs around the area to go drinking, and we also have Egham High Street as well, which has Tesco's, a supermarket there, and sort of we're nearby like Staines and Windsor as well, so you have everything going on in there. You can always do a trip out to Windsor, a trip out to Staines, or even a trip out to London. It's very close, and it's very easy train ride as well. So there's plenty sort of nearby. We also have Virginia Water, which is this lovely great park right by us as well, and it's really nice just sort of walk around the big lakes there as well. Yeah, there's probably more as well, but yeah, that's just a sort of gist of the kind of thing that is around the area.
Yeah, definitely. And I would also just add to that from a, again, former student perspective. I really enjoyed being able to make the most of our proximity to London on the weekend. So as a drama student myself, any bit of spare cash I ever had definitely went on being able to see as much theatre as I could, but also more widely the cultural scene as well. So that is what is really quite unique about us at Royal Holloway, is that we do still have that close proximity to London, but obviously you do get a really nice campus-based experience as well. So yeah, definitely. Here is one about accommodation. So first and foremost, Alessia, I'll go to you for this one. How have you found the experience of accommodation? And I know in your case that you've lived in the local area for both of your years of study so far. Yeah, essentially, how have you found your accommodation experience?
Okay, so for my first year, I lived in a shared house, and when I was doing my online open day, I found a girl, and she was from Italy as well, and we messaged after the open day, and she offered me a place in her house because she was a second year at the time, so she had already been in Egham for 2 years, and she already knew how to handle things. In fact, now that I'm in my second year, I've realized that it's really easy to find accommodation, even if you cannot really afford the accommodation from the university, which is good. I would definitely recommend if you can go in there, because my friends had amazing experiences there. But also, if you can't, you can find houses from different price ranges, and you just there are loads of websites you can use that go through landlords or agencies. So if you have a look around the website, you can definitely find solutions. And obviously, if you have any questions, you can ask to current students through Unibuddy. So it's really easy to find a way.
Fantastic, thank you. This might be one for Stu, if you want to input on this one. Is there a limit to how many clubs and societies you can join, and what is the most common amount that students do join?
Great question. So to answer the first part, nope, no limit. You can join as few or as many as you like. We've got lots of students who do both. So there'll be members of both society, sports clubs, and maybe media outlets as well. Some will just be specific to one or the other. And yeah, all we can say is that those opportunities are there for you. and as much as you want to get involved in, absolutely do so. Obviously, just make sure you get that balance of fun stuff that you get involved with alongside your studies as well. Don't take on too much, but yeah, absolutely, those opportunities are there. I wouldn't like to guess. I'd be putting my finger in the air to say, but it's a good question in terms of what the numbers is. All I will say is that I think there's over 3,000 students who are involved in those groups. So there's obviously a lot of, not obviously as a percentage, if there's around about 12,000 students, then you can sort of get a sense there that obviously not everyone is part of those, but there still are very good numbers across the board on those. So it's going to completely depend on you as an individual and how much you want to get involved in. You'll have that opportunity during freshers for things like taster sessions and trying things out. You're not committed to anything, and then if you find something that you like, you can then purchase the membership for the relevant group. It's worth noting there will be costs for certain groups depending on what their activity is, and if it's if they're having to travel for certain fixtures or need sort of specialist kit or equipment, then you might need to pay for that. But there are also lots of groups that are completely free of charge to join as well. That's just more sort of showing up and getting involved in an activity. So lots of different things, depending on your interests.
Fantastic, thank you. I know, Jack, that you're a member of a few different societies and you've got involved with some of their events in the past. Could you tell us a little bit about it, and then maybe how you found the balance of that alongside your academic studies as well?
Yeah, so doing like drama and doing like drama societies, it's just really nice to be able to have a performance outlet that's kind of outside of performances that are being assessed, which is something that's really important. And I really enjoy my degree and I really enjoy the work I do in my degree, but it's also just important to keep up the fun side of your degree as well. I'm aware that there are loads of other societies, like Law Society, History Society, that link to law degrees and history degrees as well. So it's really nice that students are able to have both the academic assessed side of their degree, and then they can explore all the fun that can be had within their degree as well, because sometimes it can be hard to strike that balance. But I'm also able to do loads of things that I might not explore in my degree, so like improv comedy and musical theatre. I really do a lot of that, which is not something we always look at within my degree as well. So it's just widening those areas of drama and theatre for me as well.
Fantastic, thank you. Here's probably a good one for you, Alessia. Sort of a finance-based question, I guess, in this case. How do you find the costs of buying groceries and balancing social life as well?
Okay, yeah, it's definitely a good question. Since university offers the opportunity to work in different kind of roles, I've never struggled to pay the bills and then the groceries. There is Tesco in Egham, so that's good to know. There's Waitrose as well, but obviously Tesco is cheaper, so I would definitely recommend to go there if you want to stay on budget. And then social life can still exist, because obviously, thank you, the SU, you can go out during nights, but still keeping it cheap, because the nights at medicine are free. And then if you go to the SU, if you book in advance, you can pay £5. So it's good to have fun. You don't have to take transport. So if you live in Egham or in Anglefield Green, so it's good. And then obviously, if you want to go to London, you're going to go to pay a bit more, but still it's something that you can do thanks to the support that university offers, offering all the jobs that you can do on campus.
Fantastic, thank you. Another one for either Jack or Alessia, whoever wants to take it. It might be quite course specific. Can you view lectures online, and how much of the course is taught in person and online?
So for drama, I believe we are now, if not now, then definitely this coming academic year, we are all in person. So there's no like pre-recorded lectures to view for next year, but we do have Moodle, which is like our kind of your page where you have all the information on your course and the courses that you're doing in your specific year, where your lecturers can upload PowerPoints or upload videos that they went through in the seminar or lecture that you may have missed, so you can catch up with things. And like documents and assessment briefings will all be on Moodle, so you have access to all of that if you miss something important. But obviously with drama, it's very performance based and kind of discussion led as well. But yeah, we will be fully in person, especially this year. Yeah.
As for my course, now it's as Jack's course all in person. Obviously we use Moodle as well, so after the lesson, if you don't have the chance to go, you can keep up with the material. I know my friend does computer science, and I know he has all the lessons uploaded on Moodle, so it depends obviously on the course you're doing. But even if you cannot go to all the lectures, because obviously it can happen, you can keep up with the material online afterwards.
Definitely, I would definitely reiterate that, especially with those courses that are going to be slightly more independent study based. Then definitely some of the online resources that you'll have access to, definitely in terms of recording lectures, but also ebooks, as I say, any sort of access to any resources that you might need in your course, hopefully should be linked sort of directly for you through our Moodle, which is a bit like the sort of the learning resource that students get at Royal Holloway digitally. Okay, so we've had a few more slightly more specific questions. I'm aware that we probably haven't got time to go through specific ones one by one. If you do have a sort of really pressing issue, then you really do want to find out an answer to it, definitely see and if it's an admissions one, definitely get in touch with our admissions team directly, especially around, I know there's some questions that have come in around entry requirements and things like that. Definitely get in touch with our admissions team if you can't find it on our website. In terms of accommodation, the deadline for guaranteeing accommodation for you, if you put Royal Holloway as your firm choice, your top choice university, is the 29th of June. That's when you have to apply by. And I know there's one also coming here about student finance. The deadline for student finance, for all things to be in place as a new student for when you were to start in September, is the 18th of May. For returning students, it's slightly later. I think it's around the 23rd of June. But for new students starting in September, it will be the 18th of May. So hopefully that sort of answers a few of those questions in one go there. Just the final one here. If you're, we haven't really got a commuting student here. If you were a commuting student, what are the sort of activities that you could get involved in on campus? Stu, I might ask you to answer this one because I know the Students' Union do some bits specifically for commuting students.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and it definitely is one of the challenges both for us as a Students' Union and the university as well, in terms of ensuring that commuting students do have access. It's really important because obviously we've mentioned before it is a campus-based university, so a lot of the stuff is going on here. So I guess it would be easy potentially to feel isolated if there aren't those opportunities to get involved with. While a lot of the societies and sports club stuff will take place on campus, there will be elements of that don't, or other events that don't necessarily mean that you've got to travel into Egham. Another thing that we actually do, we have what's known as student collectives, but from next year they're going to be student communities, and what they seek to do is make sure that underrepresented groups on campus have a platform to have their voices heard. So we've got lots of these different communities across different areas. So some other examples would be disabled students, the LGBTQ plus students, postgraduate students, and commuting students also fall in there as well. So we do look to work really closely with students from various different demographics. Alongside them, obviously look to create opportunities, even if that is putting you in contact with other people who are in a similar situation to you, meeting new people that way, and other opportunities. But yeah, it's certainly something that we do look to try and do. Of course, some things they do take place here, and a lot of our club nights would require you to come here into the specific venues. But hopefully, there will also be lots of other things that that you can get involved in as well.
Fantastic. That is what time for, unfortunately. Again, if you do have any more questions, please do check out our website. If there's anything there that doesn't answer your question, always get in direct contact with whatever the contact is provided for that department. If it's a course specific question, if it's admissions question, definitely get in touch with them. And likewise, if it's an accommodation question, there are contact details available on our website for accommodation questions. Sorry. So yes, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Jack and Alessia, for giving up your wonderfully busy student period, I'm sure now, to come and speak to us about your experiences of student life at Royal Holloway. Thank you to Stu as well for inputting all you have done on the student union side of things. Really, really appreciate you all giving up your time. Hopefully that's been a really informative and exciting session for you to hear about what student life is like here at Royal Holloway. So yes, it's a thank you from me and a thank you from everyone else. Enjoy the rest of your evenings and thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Goodbye.